Start recording. Anyway, so sort of tying your plan one to plan two, what you didn't really get to experience in your design classes is applying this vehicular ramp since most of your sites were flat. So now it's pretty much a given that you'll be designing a basement level for your parking, and then you need to create a ramp that's 12 to 15% slope with 2.4 meters minimum, or depending on where kanang what you find on your research or what your source is, this value can change. I think in the Philippines we don't really have like regulations for transition slopes, and depending on whatever your source you can find is, it would range around like 2 to 2.4, maybe even 2.5 meters minimum for the transition slope. So as you recall, the purpose of the transition slope in the vehicular ramp is so that the front and the rear of the car um, won't get stuck, or they won't hit the ramp because because of the angle, even though it's like within 12 to 15%. Okay, so how do you determine again the rise and the run? So you just have the slope requirement 15%. Your rise is how much vertical distance you have, and your run is your horizontal distance. So for example, if your basement is 3 meters deep, you'll need a run, or like a horizontal length, or a run of ramp about 20 meters long. And that will be challenging given that your site over here, oh wait, where is it? Over here is like 40 by 44. So the longer side is 44, the shorter side is 40. So it's almost a square. And then you'll need to incorporate a 20-meter ramp plus all the turning radius. So make sure to incorporate your turning radius here. If it's a 90-degree turn, you'll need about, what's that? 3.5 meters inner radius with a 5.85 meter outer radius. So just that's already 5 meters additional if you make like an L-shaped ramp. So that's something you need to consider, and you can use this as a source. This is, did I write down the source for this? I just found like turning radius on the website. Car, vehicle, turning radius. So that's my sort of like bonus for you guys. So you already know where to find this, and you can put this into your research. 90 degrees and 180 degrees, depending on how you want to design your ramp. And then eventually in this class, let me open up. In this introduction to urban and regional planning, we'll also be discussing how you can sort of manage slopes, and maybe that will be within, I think, after midterms, after we like define what is urban and regional planning, what is its difference from, what's the difference in urban planning and urban design, and we will talk about that. So this is what this class is. Okay, so what else here? I'll just show you that what I have for the syllabus so far. Nope, this is not the one. Oh, okay. So sort of to orient you guys, is this the modules and managing urban and regional resources. So let this serve as sort of like a quick introduction, or look into what is urban and regional planning. Some other things I forgot to mention, I'll be putting up notes on like sun path diagrams again, because like it seems like the finals, very few people understood how to read a sun path diagram. Actually, let's just quickly discuss that as well, because we're recording so you guys can be informed. I have it here somewhere. So it's a bit messy, a bit like informal, because definitely not yet ready. We'll be having like a formal meeting on Wednesday. So this is just sort of to like jumpstart your research process for your design. Nakalayo. And of course, maybe we can like consider COVID as well. This is a very real situation that the Philippines and the world is like experiencing now. I can just find those Do 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 do. Sun path diagram. Oh, that was really a long time ago. All right, here we go. The albedo site analysis. We're almost there, I think. Okay. Oh, that time that my house got struck by lightning. Do 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 do. Hang on, hang on. Okay, here we go. Nice. We have the website here. So, very quickly, I just really wanted to touch on this guy. A lot of people didn't get how you read the sun path diagram. So we have here a website. I'll put it in the chat so you guys can see it for yourself. Where's the chat at? Here. Okay. This. So I asked like, where is the hottest part of the site of a site in Cebu City? So how you would read the sun path diagram is that on the upper side is the kanang summer solstice or the hotter months, and the bottom side is the winter solstice or the colder months. Okay, so just given with that, I need like a diagram, but I'll just show you guys later. Sun path diagram. I just really want you guys to like remember this. Okay, this one. No, that's not guysma.com. Here we go. Do. So always remember the upper part of the kaning sunpath diagram is the June solstice or summer solstice, and December solstice, or sa northern countries the winter solstice. So already you know that the hottest part should be on the upper side, because like you notice that the sun path variation, this part in yellow, is more or less on the center of every site. And the cool thing about this site over here is you can see how the sun moves, like from 6 a.m. And if you can see my cursor, it's over here. Let me change my mouse settings. Mouse settings. Oh, excuse me. Just mouse and cursor size. Unfortunately, I can't change the cursor size, or I can. It will change on my end, but on your end, it's not as visible. Anyway, so if you notice, this is 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and the line that's changing is this thick yellow line here. So that's actually plotting the movement of the sun, like from sunrise in the east, sunset in the west. And then you can adjust the months here. So this is August 2021 now. But if you move it to, let's say, December of last year, so we can switch it to December, and let's say middle of the month, like December 15. So notice now the sun passes down here, more southern. And then this is at like 4 p.m. So we go back like 6 a.m. Does everyone see the line moving? Can someone confirm lang?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you see it moving from 6 a.m. to like 5 p.m. our sunset in December. And then going back to my question, which side has the hottest, or which area of a site is the hottest in the Philippines, in Cebu City specifically? If we go to our like hottest month last year, I think this year the hottest month was like around let's see, March, April, I think around May. So let's go to May 2020, 2021 I mean. May or June. Let's just say late May. Let's say like May 25-ish. So you can see the sun path is here, more northern side. And then it varies from day to day. But looking at the recent numbers over here, I looked at like a website for like temperatures, daily temperatures in the Philippines. Actually, I just look it up here. in Cebu. Let's see, Monday, Tuesday. Let's look at details. Tuesday, that was, let's say yesterday. We got hourly. So notice like 8 p.m., 11 p.m. And this is where, no, there was a better website for this. I think this is the one where you can really see the temperatures rise. Okay, per day. Let's see, per hour. I can't seem to find it. Temperatures. Oh, low bat. Hang on. So you can see, let's see, March, April, May. This is in Fahrenheit for some reason. The hottest part or the hottest temperatures are really in May and June, or like April, May, June. These are the hottest months. Therefore, going back to my question, which part of the site becomes the hottest in Cebu is really, I think, afternoon, depending on like the how much humidity we have. More in general, I would say afternoon. So the answer would be northwestern side of the site. The reason I think some people say it's always south is because Western examples, especially the Western site development plans or site analysis plans, always draw their sun path to the south. And I think na inherit na sa like popular article. So whenever you Google it, what is the hottest part of a building? Like if you just Google generally and without considering the Philippine context, they would say south. But that's because they're in the more northern countries like America, Europe, etc. But in the Philippines, specifically Cebu, our hottest area of the site is in the northwestern side or more northern generally. So how would that impact your design for what they call this for this plate, your second plate? I'm really looking for designs that address or have like longer eaves on the northern side and then not so much on the southern side because it's a lot cooler. You have less kanang sunlight, so you would want more sun on the southern side, and you would want less sun on the northern side. So you can add that to your research. Okay, so what else? Anyway, na sidetrack ko. I just really wanted to bring that up because dako kay na siya na problema na you guys don't know which part of the site is the hottest part. Okay, so I'll be wrapping this up soon. It's already 6 o'clock. So just to give you guys something to like think about when we go into our official class on Wednesday, is that basically urban planning and regional planning as well is the collaborative process of resource management on both the urban, meaning like the city or local scale, and the regional scale. Regional meaning the different regions of the Philippines. And then I'll be importing to our canvas this very kanang neat diagram of I think this was prepared by a what they call this, a foreign company. uh, let's go to media. Do by the OCHA. I forgot what it stands for, but they did like a regional study of Region 7, that's the Visayas, and looking at population size, um, the amount of natural disasters this region has experienced. You can also see the topography, livelihood, labor, nutrition, water supply, health, and sort of shelter quality. So this is important for you because as an architect, as future architects, you need to sort of understand how your building fits or how your building is cohesive to the larger urban environment. So let's say our site here is in Cebu City. So let me just zoom in. Cebu City, one being one of the most developed areas in the Region 7 and also in the province of Cebu, you have to be really aware or like manage your site such that you're not wasting a lot of space. Because this site here, let me open it. This is prime real estate. So this is very expensive land, and you don't want to like waste it by designing a mediocre building. So that just adds more importance or gives you more reason to design high quality buildings. Like in the future, when you do get a site like this or a project like this, you'll be aware of all the different factors. And that's why in the morning, for those who are doing this morning, I really emphasize how your building should consider the not just the climate, but the aesthetics and the kind of visual elements around the site. I would be very kind of against creating a very Frank Gehry-ish or very kind of stand-outing a building that stands out too much because this is a very what do you call this a very formal setting where buildings don't tend to compete for attention. They tend to like blend more into the background, unless you can say in your research that you want it to stand out because of whatever reasons you can find. Like let's say a reason for this building to be kind of flamboyant in design would be like you say you're designing for a big bank or like a big company that wants their building to be flamboyant. So that could be one reason for you to create a really Frank Gehry-ish design. But otherwise, I would much prefer you guys to have something a little bit more simpler in geometry, but at the same time addressing the climatic factors of the site. Because these buildings, let me just go down here to Street View. I don't think they do a good job of addressing the solar access. Like it's all glass, very short eaves, so it's going to be very hot. So they have to rely on like double glazing or like special kinds of facades that prevent heat from kind of accumulating inside the building. But the problem with these all glass facades, if what happens when mag-brand out, so that's not very efficient because it's all solid. There's no way to naturally or like manually let wind or like ventilation in. So this is a very big kind of negative, I would say. In this is basically postmodern architecture. This is what me, Sir Rowell, and all the other design teachers are struggling with, as well as other design professionals. Like, how can we improve this? Because this is what's popular. And that's really the problem because clients want this kind of building. They don't like the way passive cooling or sustainable designs look because it's not international looking. It's not kind of sellable. So your challenge is to create it, make it logical as well as make it look nice. So that's really the challenge for this plate. Anyway, we'll be discussing more like details on how we can use knowledge from urban and regional planning to incorporate into our design so we can have a more like a holistic development and something a building that should be able to last not just 20 or 50 years but maybe like 50 to 100 years because I think we have some buildings that are like really old in the Philippines, but most of them like 100 years ago, 1990s, no, not 1990s, 1900s. I think they're still existing. But most of them are like low rise because we don't have high rise. Because like as far as I know, the first high rise buildings in Cebu City were constructed in the 70s. But that could be an interesting challenge or something you can add to your research as well. Okay, so other things to look forward to in this class. Let's see. We'll be defining like what urban is, planning and development in the Philippines, a little bit of history, who are the authorities that handle these kinds of data. This will help you with your research. Your research as well as your kanang thesis. And yeah, that's basically it. Excuse me. So I will end the meeting here. I'll stop recording.